talking about being a small YouTuber. And the interesting thing about this is that I have been on YouTube for um, since 2015, I think 2015, 2014. And I'll get on it and I'll stop, I'll get on and stop. And so I'm like, okay, so now I've been back on this YouTube platform. And so I'm like, I'm watching all these YouTube videos. So I want to see, am I alone? Right? Am I alone? Do I have any other small new YouTubers who's like, okay, wait, I'm doing everything they say. I'm making sure I'm uploading like this, I'm posting, I'm doing all of this stuff. And yet it seems like you're not getting the views. Now here's the thing that I'm realizing. So is it about views because I want to monetize, or is it about views because the more views I get, the more impact I have, right? And so asking ourselves a question like, why, what am I looking for, right? Am I just trying to, get enough views so I can monetize? Like, what is the purpose? And so especially when we're talking about niching down, like what is your niche? And I'm not sure, I don't know if you're the same way, but when you have a lot going on, right? So maybe you write books, or you teach, maybe you are good at cooking, whatever it is. It's like, okay, how do I narrow this thing down? So I am a licensed independent social worker. And right now I'm in my office where I provide individual and family counseling. And so I help a lot of people with identifying negative beliefs or blocking beliefs that's actually hindering them from living a full and free life. And so I was like, okay, wait, do I want my channel to be about that? But I also help other social workers make a living while they're making a difference. And so I'm like, okay, do I have my channel about that? And so again, I'm sharing this because I'm like, am I the only one that's like tripping? And so then my coach, and again, I have a coach, and the coach is like, okay, you know what? You got to narrow it down. You got to narrow it down. Who is your target audience? Who is that avatar? Who is that person that you want to reach? So here it goes. If you are an individual, a woman, an African American woman. And I even, hesitate to say that, but I'll share why I say that. So most of the individuals that I help, they're struggling with the mindset due to childhood trauma. And so a lot of the women have went on to obtain degrees. They went on to even have families, right? So have children and have a relationship, but the relationship, they're not finding satisfaction in the relationship. And so I'm like, so when we experience trauma, I need y'all. And so this is why I'm like, it's one thing for me to be teaching this while I'm in the office. It's a whole nother thing for me to be able to be on social media and reach individuals who may not ever come into my office, right? And so when you are experiencing or have experienced childhood trauma, it even shows up in our desire to have a relationship with God, right? It shows up in that. And so it shows up in our relationships. And so I'm not sure. So if you've heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, and what that looks like is when a person have experienced trauma, right? And so if we're looking at veterans who may have, been in war, so a loud noise, even though they're not in war, loud noise startle them, right? And so on 4th of July is like one of the worst holidays for an individual who have been in war, right? And so understanding that the brain begins to signal our to us that we're in danger. So that's how it is when individuals have been in war. But when you've been traumatized as a child, right? You lack the nurture and the care and the attention and the protection that you needed. And so now as an adult, you can begin to bottle up your emotions for fear of being abandoned, fear of being misunderstood. Hey, Hunter. Hey, Lynette, thank you for joining. But fear of being misunderstood. And so we bottle up our emotions. And so again, as a small YouTuber and trying to figure out, okay, what road, right? What area of my expertise do I want to highlight? And that, being completely honest, transparent, that has been the struggle, right? Because again, I can say as a trauma therapist, everyone that comes into my office is dealing with some sort of belief that's actually blocking them or hindering them from moving forward and reaching their goal. And so I'm like, okay, do I take that and use that information to help those in the YouTube world, understand, like, wait, hold on. Because if they're in my office, this is how I'm looking at it. If people are coming in my office struggling with whether or not they want to live, struggling with whether or not they want to stay in relationships, struggling with all manner of things, I am able to help an individual identify the belief that's actually hindering them from making a decision that they need to make for themselves. And so that's where I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's go live. Let's see who is struggling, with this. And again, it's not, for me at least. Yeah, I want to get more followers. Yes, I want to get more views. Absolutely, because what that says to me is that my reach, I'm expanding my reach, right? More people are able to hear the information and get the help that they need. And so, as a spiritual one who believes in God, right? I wanted to point that out because a lot of people are saying spiritual, but it may mean all kind of things. But one who believes in God, and even helping individuals who are in the Christian, have the Christian faith, recognize how we can, have faith and still struggle with forgiveness, right? How we can have faith and still struggle with forgiveness. What is that about? I do believe, I've accepted Christ into my life. I love God, right? We say all these things, but yet I'm having a hard time forgiving. And so on my channel, I want to help individuals be able to recognize the beliefs that are literally keeping you stuck, right? Keeping you stuck in a dead end job, keeping you stuck in a dead end relationship, keeping you stuck in the mindset, and being able to help you identify, what am I telling myself that has me stuck? And so that's what this platform is going to be used for. It really is. It's going to be used to help individuals get unstuck, dealing with childhood trauma, dealing with just depression and anxiety, and how do I overcome it? Individuals who may be struggling going into a therapist's office, right? Fear of being judged, helping you identify what characteristics, what should you be looking for when you're seeking a therapist. What should you be looking for, right? Helping you understand, like, guess what books can you read, right? What self-help things can you do to help you get to the point where you even want to, or you're able to go to a therapist? Okay, if you're struggling with your business, what about, what are those thoughts related to getting connected to a coach? And so on this channel, that's what I really want to be, sharing. It's all about the mindset and helping you understand how what you think is actually stopping you from moving forward. Yes, yes, yes. And so even when we're talking about motivation, right? And so when you say, like, okay, how do I stay motivated? So here's the thing. You have to, and it depends. I want you to talk with me. Motivated in what? Motivated in life, motivated in pursuing a particular goal, motivated in what? Because again, when you think about motivation is connected to emotions, right? Feelings, and feelings change. And so some decisions I have to make when I'm not motivated, right? When I don't feel like getting up. But I told myself I was going to go. I told myself I was going to do this, and I need to do it. So now I'm getting up, right? I'm not motivated. I don't feel, excited about doing it. But because I said I was going to do it, then I'm doing it, right? And so when we're looking at that motivation, so even when we're talking about, small YouTubers, individuals who've been hearing people say, well, get on YouTube, go live and do all of this stuff. And you're doing it, and yet you're not getting the views, or, you're not getting the result that you desire. It's like, okay, wait, how bad do I want it? Because a lot of times, y'all, we put a seed in the ground. Think about this. We put a seed in the ground, we cover it up, we go back in the house, we wake up the next morning, we don't see what it is that we was wanting to grow, and so we dig it out. Think about this. Those of you who like, okay, I lack the motivation. It's like, okay, every time I don't see the seed that I planted, the fruit of the seed that I planted, then I'm going to dig out the seed and putting it somewhere else and planting it somewhere else. So let me share like personal story, right? So it's like, okay, I'm on YouTube, and I was on YouTube since 2015, right? And I wasn't consistent. I was just like, okay, yeah, okay, YouTube, right? But then I went into the social media streets of Facebook. Then I went to the social media streets of Instagram. Then I went to you see what I'm saying? So I'm like pulling up these seeds and saying, okay, I'm not getting enough followers here. So now I'm going to take it over here to Facebook. Oh, Facebook giving me some interaction, and they like jamming with me. But guess what? I want to see what TikTok is going to do. You understand what I'm saying? And so again, if you're struggling and you're saying, you know what, I'm just struggling to stay motivated, I encourage you to remember your why. Why did you get started in the first place? What was the reason for you to start, whatever that is? I'm an author of 5 books, right? And so the thing is, because my why is big, I'm like, okay, I was able to be consistent, right? I was able to be consistent because my why was, I don't want the people that I'm called to suffer another day, another month, another year because I didn't show up. I need y'all to, okay? Like, because I didn't show up, the people that I'm called to have to suffer another day, another week, another month, another year. And because I don't want people suffering, because I didn't show up, right? Now, people gonna suffer, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is the people that I'm called to, because I don't want them to suffer more than they have to, because I focus more on, I let imposter syndrome get me, right? I let my lack of motivation cause me not to show up. So I encourage you to really sit back and see, what is my why? Why did I start this fitness routine? Why did I start this business? Right? Why did I start? And I'm gonna tell you, when we're coming from a mental health standpoint, right? And no matter where you are, I can guarantee you that if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling trapped, it's some lie you telling yourself. Think about that. If you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling trapped, it's because of a lie you're telling yourself. It's something that you're entertaining. It's a belief, a thought that you're entertaining that's actually hindering you from moving forward. And so again, this is that channel. And I'm going to come. I mean, it's kind of like, I was laughing with my assistant the other day. I'm like, it's kind of like having a therapist in your pocket, right? And so, but I want to come on and share with you practical steps. Today, I was just like, okay, we going live. You are welcome. You are welcome. And thank you for commenting as well. But I'm like, we're going live. I don't have a client today on Wednesdays. I normally do paperwork and have meetings. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to go live. And I'm just going to talk to whoever shows up, right? And really introduce my channel, reintroduce my channel. I am also a relationship, therapist, right? Helping individuals recognize what's needed to have a successful relationship, right? Friendship or intimate relationship, marriage or parent-child relationship. There's some ingredients that's needed in order for any of those relationships to be successful. Okay, so all the topics is going to be around mindset shift. How do I shift my mind in order to reach my goal? How do I get out of this rut? Last thing, these are principles I apply in my own life. My mom and dad was both murdered. And I grew up thinking like it's me against the world, right? And because of that thought, I did whatever I wanted to do. I made decisions that without caring about who else it was going to affect. And so I began as I got older, I was living reckless until I had a life-changing experience. And what I had to do is I had to ask myself the question, do you want the person who killed your mom to kill you? Because essentially that's what they're doing, because you're refusing to live. You're refusing to figure out your purpose and live because you're still holding on to the anger and the hurt of somebody taking your mom away. And so I had to think about that. And I'm like, okay, so look, I had to think about that. I had to change how I was thinking. And I was like, wait a minute. A, I know my mom will want me to live. B, why would I allow somebody who took my mom from me? Why would I allow them to take my life from me? Right? And so I had to change my mindset. And so if you are struggling, maybe it was a bad breakup. Maybe it was something, you felt like was so unfair, but it's out of your control. I'm saying to you, what's in your control is the message you tell yourself. As long as we're saying it's not fair. And I'm not saying like literally it wasn't fair that somebody took my mom. So we're not talking about fair. I want you to begin to say, is it fair to me for me to lay here and not do what I know I should be doing? Is it fair to me for me not to, give myself a chance at this thing called life? That's what I want you to begin to pay attention to. And again, that's what I'll be coming on sharing. And so definitely, if that's something you're interested in, like, subscribe, share the channel with your family and friends. And again, as a licensed trauma therapist, I am here to help you begin to identify those blocking beliefs, the things you've been telling yourself that has been keeping you stuck. So thank you, and I will see you soon. Okay, I'll see you soon. And I am going to end this live. Yes, ma'am. Can you? I did it. I did it.